appreciate that we do all we can to help our kids learn how to read and continue to graduate and move up the academic ladder. But I'm really troubled by this bill in a variety of ways. Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, do you feel like in our academic environment today that we need to try new ideas to get our kids to do better?
Mr. Speaker and gentlemen, I choose not to discuss my ideas. I choose to discuss the bill that we're talking about at this point. I think what my ideas are or aren't is not germane to the discussion.
Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, I didn't mean your specific ideas. I meant new ideas from the realm of researchers, public education, innovative methods that are taught out there. And the reason I ask the question, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, is I think this bill, as I understand it, takes a very big government, top-down approach to education in ways that are without precedent. And Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, you were asked a question earlier, and I'll just ask it again. Is there any, your bill says essentially that we can only give funding to those that have used a science-based approach to reading. But Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, has there been any scientific proven answer to that question? I think your answer earlier was no, there hasn't been. Is that right, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen?
Mr. Speaker and gentlemen, there have been some research, and I'll read you what the definition that we used with House Joint Memorial 10.
Well, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, based upon what you said previously, that there really wasn't any clear standard, this feels like a big government top-down solution to me, in that someone gets to determine what that answer is. And the bill suggests that all funding, not just to reading programs, all funding in the higher education institution gets to flow from whoever that bureaucrat that makes that decision of what the reading solution is and what that answer is, that all funding will flow from that. And that feels like a big government overreach and a big government hammer to me, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen. I have another question, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, which is that word science. And Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, would you agree that in government and in policy, that the word science in and of itself is a battleground that different people will agree to, whether you're talking about the conservation world or you're talking about the education world?
Mr. Speaker, I would have to discuss with you more of exactly what you were seeking with an answer to that, because I don't know as I do or don't have a response to you on the scientific as you explained from one spectrum to another spectrum.
Well, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen, I'll just state my point and then I'll be done, which is that the word science is when we say that we'll use the best science, that's always code word for, if we don't like your science, we'll find different science. Or you have science that says one answer, well, we have our scientists that give a different answer. And so when I see a piece of legislation, Mr. Speaker, that says, even though there's no defined answer to this question that's germane to this bill, reading, that we're going to adopt a scientific standard and then the big government hammer of all funding will flow from that. I don't think that's in the interest of our kids, of creativity, of striving to do better, or necessarily that we have that level of understanding with which to allow anyone to make that decision, let alone allow the big government funding hammer to come down and result from it. So, thank you, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen. I have to stand opposed to this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. There is further debate. Next, we have the lady for Bill.
Pretty good, huh?